Happy Tuesday morning, everybody. A little cloudy out today. Breaking news in the NASCAR garage area. And buddy, this one's juicy. Haven't heard of this stuff in a long time. This is a soap opera. This one's a soap opera. As reported by Adam Stern. That's where I got it from. I read it and now I'm commenting on it. Adam Stern says, that NASCAR is aware that a Joe Gibbs engineer in the last year of his contract has sold some information to a team that is out of the playoffs. All right, let's break this down. I'm not going to repeat it. I'm hoping you understood that. This is your first test. All right. So years ago, I worked for a great crew chief slash chassis man named Jake Elder. Jake sold a little bit of chassis information for $500 cash. And I watched it happen. I didn't think anything of it. I thought, well, Jake Elder made $500. And back in those days, everybody, it wasn't that big of a deal. Now, you got to remember, back in the 80s, there was about 70s and 80s, there was about maybe 6 cars that could win, maybe. Earnhardt, Waltrip, Allison, Petty, Pearson, Yarborough. That's about it. So, although NASCAR was awesome, the competition wasn't as stiff. So, you couldn't make as much money back then. So Jake Elder, I watched him. And it was at Daytona, right outside the old tunnel. Some money was exchanged. So nowadays, you don't tell nobody nothing because, as we know, we have 18 winners right now. So when these teams hire these engineers, they sign a big old contract. I think their word is proprietary or something like that. It's instead of just saying don't share no information, they go proprietary information. It's like when you sign a contract and you read it and they use the words thereof, therefore. It's like, get that out of there. That's just stupid language. So Joe Gibbs engineer has been caught selling proprietary information. It means that these engineers signed a contract with Joe Gibbs that they would never breathe a word of anything. Now, what's this mean? Well, right now, until anybody does anything about it, it don't mean a hill of beans. However, it's like Days of Our Lives. It's soap opera. Unless Joe Gibbs does something about it, it really don't mean a hill of beans. But here's what I find funny. NASCAR knows about it. So, I mean, I don't think it's the same thing as, Michigan spying on Ohio, right? I mean, they don't even make, they got rid of that dumb deal. So the Michigan football team, you remember that documentary on Netflix? You can find it right now, where, you can't film, even if you're at the game, you can't film Ohio. So Michigan, that guy took it upon himself to film some of what Ohio was doing. Well, this is a little bit different deal because, this engineer, most likely, this is my opinion, this engineer most likely is pissed because he's in the last year of his contract with Gibbs, as reported by Adam Stern. And he said, hell, then I'll make me some money. Hell, they might have given him $10,000, and the guy gives, this team outside the playoffs a chassis setup. And who is the team outside of the playoffs? There's not really any bad teams anymore. So anyway, let's pay attention and see where that story goes. But I thought, oh boy, this is a good one here. This is Days of Our Lives. This is soap opera. What's his name? We don't know, but we do know he works for Coach Joe Gibbs. And I guess Coach Joe Gibbs or somebody told NASCAR about it. So as of right now, unless they do something about it, it's not breaking the law. However, we do know that the contracts with the teams, the engineers, that is breaking the law, because they all the engineers sign contracts with the teams. I will not share anything with anybody. All right, I think I broke that one down long enough for you. The next on the docket, Hailie Deegan. Hailie Deegan finally found a home. She is going to go race IndyNxt, I believe with HBM Motorsports. What is IndyNxt? IndyNxt is a feeder series to the IndyCar series. So in other words, Hailie, in NASCAR terms, Hailie is going to go run the Xfinity series, basically, in the IndyCar series. So if Hailie does good in IndyNxt, her next step would be the Indy 500, and she would move up to the IndyCar series. Now, man, I've been talking a lot. What's new, Herman? Now, I think this is a great idea, and here's why. Hold on. I'm going to tell you why. I don't care if you don't think it's a good idea. She don't even run in the NASCAR series, and you still don't like her. Simmer down, people. The reason I think this is a good idea, and this is a controversial take, and I know it is, they can't run into her like they did in NASCAR. There's so many jealous men that race in NASCAR that they could take the vehicle and use it like a weapon, and they would just run into her and spin her out and wreck her. And it happened all the time. We watched it. So she says, to hell with this NASCAR. They're not ready for a woman. NASCAR is not ready for a lady racer. I said it. I said it. So she goes over the IndyCar, and if you notice, Danica Patrick had success over there. And I believe this is a better opportunity for Hailie, and here's why. Because you cannot take your Indy car and run it into another competitor, because it will break your own car. You see what I'm saying? In NASCAR, you can run into somebody, you can body slam them, you can get away with it. In the IndyCar series, you cannot take your car and use it as a weapon, because the car will break right away. Now, you might be able to get away with a little bit of a body slam because, you know, of the side tub on those Indy cars. But listen, I know what I said is a little controversial, but it goes back to what I said. Say what you mean what you say. So I said it, all right? I just think this is a better fit for Hailie, because now it's car against car, it's driver against driver. It's not like, oh, I don't like a girl outrunning me, I'm going to wreck her. Because they did that all day long in NASCAR to Hailie. And they did it to Danica too. So it's just simple. Here's the quote. NASCAR is not ready. The upper series, the NASCAR Xfinity, the NASCAR Cup Series, those guys are just not ready for a lady racer. They can't take them. They run into them, they wreck them. So congratulations to Hailie Deegan. She did not fold her tent. She did not fold her tent. She's still racing. So congratulations, Hailie. All right. All right, that was 2 pieces of news today. We talked about the soap opera of the engineers selling information to who we don't know. It was reported in NASCAR. Unless they do anything about it, then that's that. Hailie Deegan going to the basically IndyCar League, to their feeder series called IndyNxt. All right. Hey, have a great Tuesday. It's a beautiful day, said Herman Munster.